And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy Football Podcast. And we're here to just talk about Cowboys football. You know, I got Lisa Lee here with me, got Starstruck Fan with me, got Kyle with me this evening, and we're discussing what happened with the New Orleans Saints and Dallas Cowboys. It's a terrible game. I mean, altogether, we lost to, 44-19.
Yes.
Terrible performance all the way across the board. I'm sure we all got a bunch of hot sports opinions. I don't think this was the reason why we lost, excluding the point that we need to start putting some damn touchdowns on the board. Way more field goals than anybody would like. But the offense running game was non-existent. It's obvious Ferguson not being out there, that hurt us a bit, I think. I don't think Schoonover did a bad job. He had two great catches in the first half.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Lisa Lee?
I mean, it was just bad from the beginning. Like, I knew the first drive when they got the ball and they drove right down the field and scored in like 4 plays. I was like, or 5. I don't even know how many it was. I was like, yep. Well, this is over. Like, it's just it took me back. Y'all know I've said it before. It took me back to January. It was like, here we go again. And it was just like, and then my cousin who went to the game with me in January, it was like, no, we were in a group text and it was like, it's going to be fine. And then it just wasn't. And it was it magnified the things that the 4 of us have talked about on this very show. The things that were not addressed were magnified yesterday. And then there was a picture after the game of Jerry surrounded, quickly after the game, surrounded by about 25 or 30 journalists. And I said on Twitter, this is a pictorial exhibition of what's wrong with this team.
And, believe it or not, that's what Jerry wants. Jerry wants that attention. He wants negative or positive. I mean, he'll take it, getting congratulated, saying you've made some great decisions here and stuff. Congratulations on winning, and he'll take those a lot. He'll take the attention from losing too. I mean, he's like that. He's like that stepchild almost. I don't know what his damn deal is, but it's just really starting to just irritate me more and more as the weeks progress. What's your thoughts on it, Kyle?
It was a weird game. It was one of those things where, like, offense at first, they were sustaining drives, keeping the defense off the field. You know what I mean? But like, I heard on a podcast, I heard Ed Werder say the Saints scored 3 touchdowns in 12 plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like one of those things where, like, sometimes the offense, usually it's in reverse. Our offense, we're going 3 and out. The defense gets gassed. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those things where the defense was fresh because the offense was sustaining drives, but they were just scoring at lightning pace against our defense. It was just one of those things that was just bizarre. You know what I mean? Like, what team gives up 3 touchdowns in 12 plays? You know what I'm saying? Like, at that point, there was really nothing our offense could do. You know what I mean? Like, we were behind the 8 ball. The running game, which was already non-existent, was even more non-existent. You know what I mean? And, like, you're forcing shit. The offensive line played like shit too, I thought. I thought pressure was in his face all day. He couldn't step into throws. It was just bad. You know what I mean? Like, it was.
And you had no viable number 2 outside of CD.
Yeah, the receivers weren't getting open. They were getting separation or something. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It was weird. But I mean, clearly the blame is on the defense. I mean, like I said, 6 touchdowns and 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns. That's completely unacceptable. You know what I mean? Like, that's like poverty franchise shit right there.
Yeah, and we'll address the defense here shortly. But I will say, because I started seeing like a lot of chatter, that first interception, like this start slowly for surely turning into Dak's fault again. When these damn morons don't understand, when you're behind, you start taking damn chances like any other quarterback in the league.
Not to mention, the guy slipped coming out of his break. You know what I mean?
You're down, you start forcing shit. As simple as that. I mean, you're
But
trying.
that wasn't even a force. Like,
Well,
he
true, but
fell down.
the second one
The
was
second one
though.
was, for sure.
They
Yeah,
were
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
down
yeah.
by 22 points in the fourth quarter. At that point, I mean, who really gives a shit? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
but I mean that's the nature of the game. I mean the window opportunity of success and plays they shrink if you're down in the damn game because you're starting to force stuff because you got to try and get points on the board to to come back and
Mm-hmm.
win. But Kyle, go ahead, or not Kyle, Starstruck. What did you think about the offense overall?
Yeah, the offense, it was horrible. I mean, being able to see it up firsthand, and because you get a television view, sometimes you don't get to see the big picture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yesterday I was at the game and actually got to see a broad view of it. And Dak dropping back, on one particular play, and I'm looking and I'm like, there really is literally nobody open right now. And I think that's the play where he had fumbled on. We ended up getting the ball back,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Which was the
literally
most ridiculous
saw.
fumble I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but I literally saw there was nobody at the time, breaking open, even if he had kept it and got outside the pocket, if it was going to be a rollout or whatever. But there was many times like that where I just didn't see. And Scoon had a good game, like made some great catches.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference that I saw out of him from Ferguson, just witnessing is he doesn't seem to be as good as beating one on one. Like if they're in zone, he can find the soft spots and kind of make those plays. But from what I saw, like if somebody's up on him, man up, it looks like Ferguson does a better job in man
Yeah.
coverage. Just from what I saw in the short, and that was just a snapshot of this one game.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been able to see that kind of perspective on a weekly basis, but just from what I saw on yesterday.
Yep. I think obviously there's glaring differences between Ferguson and Schoonover. I don't think Schoonover is that bad, but
No, he's not.
I just know he's not Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's not a game changer like Ferguson is.
Mm.
And that's not a knock on the guy. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's kind of just really just facts or whatever. But
Mhm.
let's hop into
Can I
the
just
deep.
interject real quick?
Sure.
It goes
Yeah.
back to the point where, like, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but having a running game would have been nice because when
Yeah.
wide receivers
Mm-hmm.
aren't getting open, like
Yeah.
if I'm that defense, I'm like, you know what? Fuck worrying about the running game. We'll
Yeah.
just key on these receivers. But
No, you're
since we
right.
have no running game, like I
You're
said,
right.
it doesn't matter. Like
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
what? Our leading rusher had 30 yards. Do
Yeah.
you think any
Yeah.
defensive
You're right.
coordinator gives a
Nope.
shit about a running back getting
Right.
30 yards?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
That's. I mean, who cares?
yeah.
I'll give the
Yeah.
team 30 rushing yards. We're going
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
key
He's
on the
at. Yeah.
receivers. We're going to shut down their receiving game. And that's
Yeah.
what they did because there's no threat. And I hate to keep pounding this
Yeah.
into the ground, but like, there's no threat.
Yeah.
We're not backing them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They dropped everyone into coverage and rushed forward, and
Yeah.
that was it. That we were
No, you're
done. You
right.
know?
I
He's
mean,
absolutely correct.
like with me, I respect everybody's opinion on this football or on this program, especially everyone's opinion on this program and
Yeah.
stuff because we've been talking about this game, specifically the Dallas Cowboys for years,
Mm.
and I was hoping that you were right, Starstruck. I was praying. Like anytime when someone tells me something on this team or this game or on this show specifically, if I don't agree, if it's something that's gonna like help this team win, I just pray that the person is right, But we need to do better with this run game, and it goes back again to Jerry Jones being a moron as far as free agency goes because if we would have signed the players that were supposed to sign from jump, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry could be on this team at the same damn time.
Mm.
Not a washed up Zeke Elliott and a washed up Dalvin Cook, which I don't even understand why he's still not even playing yet. I mean, I was just real nervous. I mean, when I started watching this game, well, I turned the pregame on like at 11:30. And I'm sitting there kind of like half asleep before the game was coming up. I'm sitting there like slowly but surely waking up. I'm just hearing praising the Cowboys defense. Oh, yeah, Mike Zimmer, blah. I'm just like, God, they're praising this. I'm starting to get uncomfortable to the point where this could blow up in our damn faces. And it just did. And to me, I know we always talk about scheme and adjustments and everything else, but this is not scheme. I mean, just from just the little things I've seen and things that like Starstruck showed me, there's like little videos and stuff. Our defense just sucks. I mean,
At least for this game.
it's
At least for this game, they
yeah.
did.
In this case, people were in position. They got blown the hell up. I mean,
Mm.
what's your thoughts, Lisa Lee? As far
Yeah.
as specifically in a run standpoint, I mean, we got blown the hell up.
Well, I mean, that video that that we were tagged in with Jesse Holly kind of breaking it down. Like that surge was it was so grossly over like I mean like it just but it goes back to now that was kind of on the end, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like it also goes back to Jerry didn't address the defensive tackle position. Like if you think Mozzie's not it,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't wait till the 11th hour and then sign 2 30-plus-year-old on a 1 year deal, like to back him up.
Mm-hmm.
It just, there was no, the whole thing though looked bad. Like there wasn't Donovan Wilson. He normally doesn't, I don't feel like he plays that bad. He played horrible yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And like just all the things that normally, like Trayvon got beat a couple of times and things that just normally don't happen, they all happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was disgusting is a harsh word, but it's how I felt. Like I was just, here we go again. Like here we go again. And
I mean, all you needed to do was just change the color of the Packers or the Saints jerseys, and it would just look like the Packer game all over again to me. And then where the hell was Overshown? I mean, what's your thoughts, Kyle? It just, I mean, you think it's scheme, or you think it's just our players just suck, or because
I don't think the players suck. I mean, okay, some of them do. Like Lisa saying, like signing a 36-year-old Linval Joseph or whichever one, like it's a guy who's going to get cut by the Giants. Like, I mean, that's our supposed like saving grace and defensive tackle. I mean, he's just a body. You know what I mean? Yeah, Overshown only played like 18 snaps. I can't explain it except that I guess he's only a nickel linebacker. Apparently, I heard on 105.3. I don't know. Also, yeah, it was uncharacteristic of the pass defense to get shredded like that. I didn't, like I said, Diggs got faked out like a head bob. You know what I mean? The guy bobbed his head one way, went the other, and Diggs was totally faked out on that for like a 70-yard bomb. It was kind of nuts. And then, yeah, once again, Derek Carr isn't the most mobile quarterback, but to get one sack, and it was a sack by technicality. He got like pushed out of bounds behind like the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Like it was,
right.
And it's funny because I know Starstruck brought up last week about maybe DeMarcus Lawrence, and like I agree with Lisa. Like DeMarcus Lawrence is who he is. He has one game with 2 sacks, and then we won't hear from him for 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like that is
very
his
true.
MO. You know what I mean? Like
very true.
And then he'll finish the season with 6 fucking sacks. Like, well, out of those 6 sacks, he had 3 games with 2 sacks. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's 15 other games. Where is this guy? He did nothing yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, it is he is who he is. Micah Parsons. The guys, they got no pressure. They didn't get any sacks. It was just weird, especially because the week before you're playing against a obviously more mobile quarterback.
It
It's
was
just weird. It was just
Mm-hmm.
it was weird.
The
Yeah,
preseason game we didn't get to see our starters in was last week.
Yeah,
Well, that's what
basically, you
people
could
were
say it that
saying.
way.
It's like, this is your second preseason game. Everything's going to be fine. But is it? Okay, what about January the 14th? Was that your 19th preseason game?
Exactly.
Because
you can't make excuses like that.
Yeah. You know what team played their starters and stuff in preseason? The New Orleans
Kansas
Saints.
City.
New Orleans
Kansas
Saints.
City.
Yeah, and look how they're doing.
Well,
You only
Kansas City struggled yesterday,
get
but
one
still.
excuse for a preseason game. You only get one excuse because in the preseason, your starters typically only play one, and that's what was used to be the dress rehearsal game. So week 1 was there. If you want to call it a preseason, that was last week. This week here, it is like regular season week 1 now. You got your pass last week against the Browns. This was
Okay, but
game
think
on
about
this
it.
week.
If this is technically your week 1,
Yeah.
we always start slow. So I guess that's par for the course. Like,
Well, our slow was last week. You
yeah,
can't
that's
start slow
true.
2 weeks in a
Fair.
row.
Yeah.
This was like in a coma this week.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe let's give the Saints some credit. Maybe they're the real deal. I mean, they put 40 points on the Carolina
But
team.
yeah,
They put
their
40 points on
offense
us.
is different.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're good. I don't know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
week 2. Maybe they are just good.
well,
I
You
don't know.
couldn't really gauge their go ahead.
they got talent, and they got people part of the San Francisco 49er tree, which
Exactly.
I mean, it was very
Exactly.
very reminiscent of us getting beat up by the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't really gauge their defense against the Panthers on last week,
Mm-hmm.
but you can definitely gauge their offense.
Yeah.
You can look at the points they put up. Our offense, we kind of thought it was a little suspect last week. We put up 33 points. But when you went back and look at the stats, you're like, okay, Dak didn't throw for 200 yards. The running game, again, didn't really do much. We were just put in some situations. We kicked, a few field goals here and there. We had Turpin ran back a punt return. So we had 33 points. But when you look back at the stats, you didn't really see the production of a as dominating game, at least to me, as you saw with the Saints the last 2 weeks.
Well, and the other thing for me is it just whatever their game plan or theme or whatever is, they're bought. Every single one of them, all 53 on the active roster, seem to be bought in.
Oh, the Saints, you mean, or
The Saints,
yeah.
Yeah. We're
like
gonna
it.
win.
Yeah, it felt like they were just all moving in the same. They're all moving. They all knew where to be, what to do, what to adjust to, and it never feels like we have that.
Mm-mm.
There's a
No.
difference, Lisa, from what you just said. The difference from based upon what you just stated. The difference is teams when they face us, when we play teams, it seems like our team's mentality is we can win this game. Versus when teams play us, it's more we will win this game. That's the difference in mentality that I see. It's like when teams play us, they're like, we're going to win. But when we play somebody, it's like, yeah, we can win this game. We can win this game, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We execute, we do this. But other teams face us and they're coming in with we're going to whoop them in their house. We're going to beat
Yeah.
the Packers, the 49ers, the Saints, the Eagles, anybody that comes into, and it's not even on a road. It can be in Dallas. They are coming there and they're like, we can beat this team.
But the
Everybody.
problem I have with
Yeah.
that though
Yeah.
is the last time they lost at home, I believe, was the Tampa home opener 2 years ago.
But
It's
we
been
Yeah.
got to
like
look at that schedule.
14.
We got to look at the schedule.
I mean,
We had a
except
lot
for
of
the
Giants,
playoff game.
Washington. Yeah. So we had a lot of cupcakes at home last season.
Yeah, but
We did.
still, I mean, did you or did you not think this was going to be a cupcake?
Almost definitely, but when we
Yeah.
saw what
I thought it for a
we
win for
thought it
sure.
was, but
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a W for
yeah,
sure.
but after the game, when we started talking about Shanahan and what we saw last week, we can now look after the fact. 2020 is hindsight is 2020, like they say. We can think like, oh wow, had we known and really studied and broke this game down, that this thing could bring make for some difficulty
But
for us.
but see, that's the reason why
Yeah.
we got a podcast and stuff, and we're not the
Oh yeah.
professionals. We just state what our
Yeah.
opinions are. So
Oh yeah.
that being said, why the hell did our
Yeah.
staff not say any of this? Why didn't they figure any of this crap out?
Yes.
Well,
And that's a scary thing.
the
Yeah.
thing about it though is we all know, and here
Mhm.
we go, we circle, it comes full circle why Jerry is the issue. Jerry's never going to hire uh
Yeah.
Raheem, um like the young Falcons coach, the young
Yeah.
Texans coach, the
Yeah.
young Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
He's
Raheem
never going to
Morris and
hire
those
anybody
guys.
from the Shanahan tree. He's just not,
Yeah.
because they're not yes men, and that's what it boils down to. Jerry wants, even like the old retread. That was my post on Facebook. Like, he thinks hiring an old retread 70-year-old defensive coordinator is going to make a difference. I'm not saying that Zim can't make a difference, but it, I feel like the game has passed Jerry and his homeboys, i.e., the old retreads. It's passed them by.
Yeah,
It's not the same NFL it was. Hell, it's not the same NFL it was 5 years ago,
yeah,
much less 25 years ago.
and you bring up an excellent point, Lisa Lee, because there's always people like, bring Jimmy back. Jimmy's gonna get his ass smashed and stuff. He comes back here trying to coach this team. I mean, we could get a witch doctor to bring Tom Landry back. His squad would get killed and stuff. It's just
Like,
they're not part of this type of
players,
football team. The football is going on now. It's just well past the coaches or the people that we like.
yeah,
You
you
also got to
can't coach them
factor
the
in.
same way.
You
Yeah,
got to factor in also Jerry's age, and he went through this with Jason Garrett, a first-time head coach learning on the job. Like, all these Shanahan disciples are what, 34-year-old coaches who have never been a head coach. Jerry's 80-something years old. Like, I know what you're saying, Lisa. I get it, but Jerry's like, you know what? McCarthy's won a ring. Zimmer, I know, you know what I mean? Like, and I understand what you're saying, but like, I also don't want to hand the keys to a Porsche or a guy, a quote unquote, to a kid who with a driver's permit. Like, we we did 9 years of Garrett. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Garrett's not even in the league anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, but
I
that was a him decision. That was a Jerry decision for wanting to stay with
that's
him
what
for 9 years.
that's
That
what
was
I'm
a Jerry
saying. But
tree.
Jerry's also at the end of his. Let's be real here. How many more years do you think Jerry has left in this world? Let's be real here.
Lord
Not many,
willing, and the
right?
quick
I don't know.
creek don't rise.
I don't know.
It'll
I'm
be
just saying, like,
Wednesday.
I don't think he's will. I don't think he's willing to go through the growing pains of a first time young head coach. That's all I'm saying. I agree with
Sure.
you
No, I
in
get
kind of
what you're.
theory,
Yeah.
but this is why I think Jerry hires who he does because
But
experience,
then the
done it
flip side of
before.
that too is what is that getting them? One day closer to not getting another Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
Yeah.
getting inside the head of what Jerry's probably
Sure.
thinking. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
get it.
get
because
you.
he stuck with Jason because Jason was going to be his guy. We all went through the 8 and 8s. We all went through it. But like, he's not going to do that again. I don't think, you know what I mean? Because that was 10 years ago. He was in his 70s now. He's in his 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know. I hate to sound morbid, but like, I think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't let some noob run this team, learning it, you know what I mean? On the job,
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I don't disagree with that
Those the
either.
guys that are
Well,
beating him though.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and I agree. I
Yeah, yeah,
100%
I
agree
get
with
you.
you. But I just
Yeah,
think
I
that's
get
like
you.
Jerry's thinking at his age. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
I
he
get
doesn't
you.
have long. I'm not letting a guy spend 4 years learning, and then maybe by his fifth year we'll get it together, and I'll be 86 by then. I
But
might be
also
in
the flip
bedridden.
side is too, I'm not going to turn it over to a new kid because then if he wins, he gets credit for it and not me.
Exactly, and that's right.
Yeah.
He wants the credit. We all know it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So he
See,
doesn't get outshined by the young Shanahan disciple who's came in here and whiz kid. So
I just think that's just so
unfortunately, it's
incredible.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it's just incredibly sad that a person's wired up that type of way. I just
Hmm.
really, really do. That he's actually, because you're right, he is that way. But
Yeah,
let's
I
go
mean,
around the.
Like I said, Houston could take that chance. They were a shit team. You know, what I mean, they've never done anything. They were a complete rebuild mode. They can go hire a young guy. You know what I mean? Atlanta.
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
can. They're a rebuild mode. You know what I mean? They can go hire a young guy. Jerry doesn't. He does. Jerry. I'm not saying me. Jerry doesn't view it that way. You know what I'm saying? That's the
yeah.
problem. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the problem.
Well,
And I
He's the
did want to
problem.
give
We all agree he's the problem. So
Mm-hmm.
I did want to give Kyle kudos on the running game and on all of you guys of what you said on the run game. Now, but my thing was what I said. We're gonna have to average 100 yards or more a game with those guys. We didn't do that. 70 yards, 71 yards is not gonna cut it. If we got five guys combining for 100, we got a better chance. But if you're putting up what we did on Sunday, only 70 yards total, then no, we're in trouble. We're
I mean,
not going to win
they're
I
already in
think,
trouble.
under 100.
yeah, I
The
think
Jets
100.
I
sweep.
get that.
I don't even
Yeah.
know if 100 would even help this team yesterday.
No,
It
I
puts us
mean,
in a better situation,
oh
but
yeah,
under 100,
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
going to win. You're
I'll
not going to win
concede.
under 100.
I'll concede that. Yeah, I'll put us in a little bit better position, but I don't know if
Yeah.
that's gonna.
All it would have done yesterday was it kept New Orleans offense off the field and they were
Yeah.
scoring at will. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's the only difference. It might
Yeah.
have given you
Yeah.
an outside chance to keep it close because I don't think
Yes.
the outcome would have been any
71
different.
yards. Yeah.
Hmm.
It would have
but
just helped
and it
Yeah,
We
goes
had
back
time
to
one
management.
guy with over 4 yards. The rest of the guys were under 3 yards a carry.
I'm telling you that breakaway run that Zeke had, he looked so damn slow. Holy hell! Did anybody see that? It was just me.
that dump
I
off
thought,
pass.
yeah, if he would
Yeah.
have moved any slower, he would have looked like he was going backwards. I mean, it was like a time machine on television. I didn't couldn't. It was just crazy that
Yeah.
he looks like he's just slowed down that much.
And they see it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a good period of time that Zeke was not on the field. And
No,
He
that could
didn't
have been
he
maybe
didn't
that
start.
they were resting him, maybe,
he didn't play till the
because they
third
saw the
series.
score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't bring him in at one point until they got into the red zone in the fourth quarter. It's like they had Rico in the whole drive up until like the red zone. Then they brought him back in. But yeah, I don't know if that was a rest thing, like this game's out of hand, or if they're really starting to notice like it's just not there.
I don't
Yeah,
think it's just not there. And like I said, Deuce, like I'm sure he's a great guy, but it takes literally, you put a pinky on him, he's going down. He's
yeah,
just too
Yeah.
small. I hate to say it. He was the preseason All-Star last year, but
yeah. But
in big games, you
This
literally,
year
you
too.
touch him and he's going down. He's not
yeah.
breaking
Yeah.
tackles.
I
Like
mean, it's a great story and everything. It makes you
yeah.
want to tug at your heartstrings or whatever. But But damn, I'm done
Yeah.
with this
And,
story. We can move
It's
on
a
from that
wasted
too.
rep,
Yeah.
and
basically.
yes,
Yeah.
and
The
trying to
thing
find a
is,
running game with a jet
yeah.
sweep. They finished this last week, well, yesterday, -1 yard in the jet sweep. They had 3 tries. They finished with -1 yards in the jet
Well,
sweep from
they
Cooks and
did
Perkin.
have the
Like,
one guy that missed the block. That didn't help.
yeah,
That
True.
leaves
but
three
either
that need to
way,
get off the field.
either way, you know what I mean? Like, so they've already let the cat in the bag with a jet sweep in week 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
Everyone knows that's
probably
coming
would have
now. You know what I'm
scored
saying?
actually
Like,
on the. If you look at the replay, they probably should have scored on that play had what's his name made the block on that. He whiffed on the
probably
block.
shoulda, woulda, coulda, but
When
they
does
didn't. They
I
finished with
mean, if you
-1
look
yeah?
rushing
at it,
yards in a
he
jet
misses
sweep.
the
You
block.
know,
The
When
guy
what
throws
is
him out
Cooks?
the way.
What is Cooks gonna play?
He's there. He had two catches. Just I don't get it. I
I'm
don't
talking about.
yeah.
understand
I'm
how
talking
he's
about
not getting.
Dalvin. He played.
Oh,
Oh, Dalvin
well,
Oh
Cook.
no,
there you
no, we're
go.
talking Brandon.
Well,
I
they're
guess he's still
talking
getting
about
working
him.
his way into shape. I don't know.
Well, because
They're talking about him this
I'm
week.
thinking that you're gonna have to bench Deuce Vaughn and move him up starting next
Hmm.
week. And that's the only thing you
Yeah,
can do at this point.
I would bench Deuce too.
yeah,
I mean, like
Good
I said,
story, but
yeah, great
yeah.
story. It makes me all feel warm inside hearing the phone call. You want to come go to Dad? We'll work with Dad. I mean, yeah, that's all great, but no, I don't want to see you work with Dad no more. But anyway, I don't. I mean, it's time for bring the child to work day with you and stuff. Those days that's over. Um, just one last thing on defense, and I want to get a clear opinion on everyone. You got three choices. Is it the defense? Is it personnel, scheme, or combination of both? Lisa Lee.
See,
Okay. Kyle.
I think it's probably C. But I think they could tool with the scheme a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but
Okay.
yes,
Okay. Starstruck.
I think it's all three, based upon what I saw. At times, they've got to know to put the right personnel on the field for certain situations. That's why I say it could be personnel, could be I don't know. I think it's all three because that you've got to know who to put in. Like we were in on the goal line and you had Overshown in the game on the one where the defense got blown completely off the ball. He was one of the guys that got blown off the line. And you have to wonder like, maybe was his snaps low? It makes sense why it probably was low because if the Saints are running the ball and he's not a guy that can really get in there and crash against linemen, that maybe he's just a 20 to 20 guy when the team is passing a lot,
Mm-hmm.
that like you were saying, like a nickel linebacker type guy. And maybe the team has recognized that, like, hey, this team is running the ball, smash mouth football. We can't have him out there. And maybe that's why he did not. And
well,
I
at the
said that was
point
just
that you
one
had given
play.
up
Yeah.
35 at half, you at least
Yeah.
got to try something different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
You
don't
do.
buy in. I mean, it's the dynamic and versatile they make
Yeah.
Overshown seem. They could have
Yeah.
figured out a way to make him work into whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel like I'm leaning more towards A, just the front four. To me, if this
Well,
front
yeah,
four is not
the
fixed,
front
yeah,
middle two are
yeah. If that's
the
not fixed, if
problem.
that's
They're
not
on
fixed, I
vacations.
mean, if that's not fixed, you're messed. I mean, the linebacker situation's messed up from that point. You got them playing on skates, and then you got the corner, you got the back or the cornerbacks, the strongest. They're playing on skates too because if the front four are not doing anything, they're not generating no push or not. I mean, you just
And the
you're saying it's
Saints, yeah,
players or scheme.
yeah,
You're saying it's players or scheme.
I think it's players specifically. I'm saying
Yeah,
specifically the front four.
and
You
see
know,
that's the thing that sucks is we're in week 2. I mean, one of the options when it comes to players, this is your roster. You can trade for a bunch of scrap heap guys. I mean, is that going to, you know what I mean? Or what? You're going to
yeah,
trade high
yeah,
draft picks for
true,
a solid player? I mean, that's why you got to retool the scheme a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I agree
true,
with you. These players up front aren't good enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Parsons. But at
yeah.
this point, it kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, no one's trading, they're all pro guys just to get rid of them. You know what I mean? So it's
True,
unfortunate.
and another thing too is I was showing you guys a message earlier today. Since we're gonna leave defense alone just a little bit. People are mad. Oh, they're paying Dak this money, blah blah blah. They could have shored up the defense. I mean, well, he spelled it
Yeah,
sure,
right.
which I thought was funny. He kept on saying sure, which I even thought was more funny. But I'm sure he meant I'm sure he meant shore up the
Sure.
defense, like. But anyways.
but does that money even really play into this season when you extend somebody like that? Doesn't that an
One, one,
extension mean it starts
one,
like next year?
one. It does.
No.
One. It
Or
doesn't.
how does that work?
One, well, it does. To me, It
to
doesn't.
amortize it. It amortizes the same. Like Dak's hit was going to be what it was regardless of the
Yes.
extension. It just means that your hit, his $240 million extension, now can be amortized over. So instead of them amortizing it over 4 years, the next 4, it can now be amortized in a sense over 8 because it's a 4-year extension. So you get to add the 2 contracts together. And
But
then,
wouldn't
That
that
was
start like next season though? It would start this
well, the
season. That
cap
money.
hit this year was going to be the same no matter what.
Okay,
So
I
you're right
got you.
in a sense
I got
that,
you. Yeah, I got you.
yeah.
Mm.
But not only that, if you're a Dallas fan, the writing's on the wall. Look at the past 10, 15 years. Free agency money on defense.
What
Has
have we
Dallas
done?
historically ever spent on
No,
defense and free agency, outside free agency? Look at the
no.
guys they sign on 1 or 2 year contracts.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. Like, okay, so they
Hmm.
don't sign Dak. Well, let's not act like they're going to go sign
Greg Hardy,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, like Greg Hardy, but let's be
Everson
real here.
Griffin,
Yep.
Yeah.
Everson Griffin.
Gerald McCoy.
Sacks are
Who's the other
still
guy
coming,
that,
y'all.
yeah. Who's the one guy they got from Kansas City that gave Travis Frederick that fit that one game? Who's a
Was
total
that
bum? You
Poe?
know what I mean? Huh?
Was it Poe?
Don
Dante.
Terry Poe. Yeah. These are the kind of guys they sign. You know what I mean? So let's not act like Dak's 60 million is gonna like, we're gonna get Dominican Sue and we're gonna get
Yeah,
Aaron Donald. You know what I mean? Like, come
yeah,
on,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the people,
Patrick Willis and Navarro
yeah,
Bowman. Yeah. We're gonna
yeah,
sign all these guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
the people that these people think that we're gonna get are not gonna be the people. I mean, this ain't Madden, you know. I mean, it's
And
just
for the record, there were good defensive players available in free agency.
yeah.
true.
And your GM slash owner slash whatever the F he is chose not to do it.
Yep.
Exactly.
There were
Did
good defensive players in the
yep.
draft, but
Didn't.
Yeah.
he didn't have a 4th round pick because he gave it up for Trey Lance.
Yep.
He could have
Exactly.
also addressed the running back in the 4th round and had a solid
Hmm.
running back.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
He could have handled business and signed the players he should have signed originally to begin with early in the season, so there'd be
I mean,
extra money, so he could have
it,
picked up some other
Mm-hmm.
defensive
like,
players.
it's like did they forget that the last free agents they signed was Brandon Carr? That was the last guy they gave big money contract to
No,
outside of our own team. Like,
no,
that was
because
like
some
10
they
years
they
ago.
don't care because some of these people are so goony goo goo over hating
Oh,
Dak Prescott. It doesn't matter. I
it
mean, because
just it
because
just
Dak
boggles the
Prescott.
mind.
I mean, because Dak Prescott. I mean, I'm gonna read this. This thing I shared with you guys earlier about how horrible Dak Prescott's game was yesterday, and it's horrible because he allowed 41 points. He benched Overshown for most of the
Yeah.
damn game. Damn you,
Mm-hmm.
Dak.
Mm-hmm.
And then and
Yeah.
then and then Dak decided to run. He made the team run every first down,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
he made Brooks slip to the Saints, so that was
Oh
a
yeah, I saw
turnover.
that. Yeah, he tripped him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he pulled the defense to the side and said, "Hey, I want you guys to apply no pressure to David Carr the whole damn game."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That
I
was.
so I
He doesn't
so
like
Yep.
that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I can see how people hate Dak Prescott
Yeah.
over
I
that.
know. Yeah.
So
I mean, he's a good guy. He looked out for Carr. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
Jesus, how can you? I
Quarterbacks
mean,
stick together. Yeah. Exactly.
people complain about David Carr also. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of complaints about David Carr is all very Dak Prescott like because I
Yeah.
got because
Derek.
my or Derek Carr, yeah, David Carr. That was years ago.
he beat
Mm-hmm.
us too.
Yeah, he did actually. He looked like we made him look like
First Houston Texans game ever.
yeah, we made him look like future Derek Carr. Anyways,
Yeah, it
but
helps when Derek Carr can throw the ball to Alvin Kamara 5 yards down the field, and then he takes it 70.
and
I mean, that helps.
he could just be a
That really
damn
helps.
wrecking ball. I mean, this is just
Or Derek
crazy.
Carr throw the ball 60 something yards downfield to a wide receiver for a 71 touch. That helps when you can just sit back there and just get rid of the ball quick
Uh-huh.
and
I mean, if
with no pressure.
you're in trouble when Derek Carr can go on to the into the end zone and do a damn Michael Jackson
Oh yeah, yeah,
pelvis thrust in the
yeah.
damn end
How
zone.
many
Hmm.
times have
You
we
know
seen
your
that in the
team's in
Cowboys
trouble.
end zone? We've seen
You know what?
everybody looks like a rock star in our end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
People
Yep.
dance on the star. They hold themselves on our star. Like everybody comes in there and does stuff on our field.
It's just ridiculous, man. I mean,
No
so
respect. No respect.
they'll just start calling us the Dangerfields, the Dallas Dangerfields. Everybody, look at you! I tell you, I get no respect. But we got the Ravens up next, and and it's just crazy because after this performance,
0-2 Ravens. Let's be
so
clear. The 0-2 Ravens.
okay, I know, but we're still talking about the 1-1 Cowboys that play like they're 0-2
I'm
Cowboys
gonna
right
call
now.
the
They're playing.
Ravens instead of 0-2. I'm calling them 0 and due. They're due for a breakout game, and
Yes,
most likely it will happen on Sunday.
yeah. So we're gonna have Jackson running around like Michael Vick and Derrick Henry looking like Walter Payton out there and stuff. That's what everything looks like right now at this point. So Kyle, calm me down. Tell me why I'm wrong.
I mean, they blew a 10-point lead to the Raiders. The Raiders were a 9-point underdog, and the Ravens at home blew a 10-point lead to the Gardner Minshew and the Raiders. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. You know, like I said, I get it. The big, bad, scary Baltimore Ravens, but they're 0-2. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you blew a 10-point lead at home to a 9-point underdog. You know what I mean? Like, a bottom three team in the league. You know, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
like I
Some will
said,
argue.
listen. I agree with Lisa. They're probably due, but I said at the same time, like maybe the Ravens are just overrated. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I mean, John
I
Harbaugh. I mean, like I said, what has he done since the Super Bowl? This is
true.
I don't know.
I don't know, but the Raiders, arguably, some people say they're the West Coast version of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh no.
That's not really even comparable. I don't think. I mean, they're a shitty
Mm-mm.
fucking. They're a West Coast version of the. They're a
well,
West Coast version of
well,
the Commanders. That's what they
well,
are. They're the West Coast
I'm
Commanders.
talking about how they run their organization and stuff. I mean, for at least at one
Yeah,
point in
maybe
history,
under Al Davis.
at
Yeah.
one point in history, they were kind of ran
Yeah.
like us, backing up the damn bushel baskets of bullshit and stuff to try and sell to people that miracle salve. So kind of remnant or resemblance to. But anyways, I mean, the only person that picked the Ravens to win is Kyle. Is
No,
everybody?
I didn't pick Ravens to win. I picked
You
Dallas
picked
to win.
No, he picked Dallas. Yeah, that was my fault. Yeah, I
you
had an
picked
error on that.
okay. So you
I
picked
tried to correct it.
so you picked Dallas to
Oh yeah,
win.
I picked
Okay,
Dallas.
so
I'm pretty sure I picked Dallas.
okay, so
Yeah,
you
you
picked
did. Yeah,
Dallas,
you
and
did.
everybody else picked the Ravens, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything different now of what we know now?
Nope.
Does it make you change your mind any?
Nope.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking, and y'all saw my pickle juice game thing in there. That brings me to the fact: do we think Zimmer can fix this defense in a week? Because with the pickle juice game that they were talking about in 2000, where they got smashed by the Eagles, Deuce Staley had 201 yards rushing. He had to take a full season to get that defense ready by the next season. He doesn't have the luxury of that, as I guess I read that article. He has a 1 year deal with us this year, and so he doesn't have time to really accumulate players. So can he do it in 1 week? What he did in one, I guess, one maybe 2 seasons in Dallas as being the new defensive coordinator back then. I don't know because
Well,
I know the Ravens are going to push the envelope. Go ahead.
let me ask you a question. Are we signing any new players this week that's going to be ready to play and stuff on Sunday?
I don't know if
No.
we're signing anybody. We might elevate some people, but I don't know if we're signing
I
anybody.
I just don't think until the front four is fixed, they figure out something, we're gonna have some issues. I'm not gonna. I mean, I hope the Cowboys win. Don't get me. I hope Kyle is right, but shit, if we don't fix it, I mean, that's a lot of stuff going on. Even average 0-2, you still got some people that got some wheels that can run. And if we're set up just like the way we were set up last week, I don't care if you're 0-2. I don't care if you gave up a 10-point lead against the Raiders. I I just find it hard to believe that
But
we can
here's
do
here's
anything.
the other part of this. Like we've seen, this is what I think makes me the most um meh about the whole thing. We've seen this song before. We've heard the verses. It's the same song. It's just a different version of it.
Mm-hmm.
We will have a game like we had on Sunday where we look like absolute trash. And then we're going to have a week, and maybe it's this week, I don't know, where the
Where
defense gives up 38 yards total offense and the offense puts up 45.
yeah, they
And then
don't.
we're back. It's like the hot and cold. This is why we're all sick,
Yep,
in air quotes,
and,
because they
they,
can't get their temperature regulated.
yep, and they don't wheel out the Salvation Army bucket early so they can
Yes.
Ezekiel and Dak can dump each other in the damn bucket and shit.
I
So
figured out the perfect analogy. The Cowboys are in menopause.
Yeah,
They can't get their temperature regulated.
I hear you, but I mean, like I said, look at week 2. You had San Fran lost to the Sam Darnold and
It
the
was a
Vikings.
weird week
You
for
had
sure.
Detroit lost. Who they lose to? The Tampa Bay, right?
Bucks,
Yeah.
You had the Ravens lose to the
Raiders.
Raiders. Like I said, so it's so hard to gauge what these teams are after one. Like, I'm with all you guys. I didn't know what to really think. New Orleans blowing out Carolina. There's one thing I'm sure of in this league right now is that Carolina sucks. They are by far the worst team. Other than that, I really don't know what anybody is now. You know what I mean? Like San
Right.
Fran's 1-1, Detroit's 1-1, Baltimore 0-2, Cincinnati 0-2. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
I don't.
weird right now. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks you can't really tell. You know what I mean?
I
Oh,
don't
we
know if
can.
Tampa Bay beating the Lions is that surprising to me.
I didn't think it was either.
Tampa's playing really well right now.
They're
I
playing
think
well, but everyone thought Detroit was going to be the second best team in NFC. Let's be
Yeah.
real here, right? San Fran, Detroit. Everyone said that, you know? I don't know.
oh
I don't know. I got us beating
I,
Detroit this season.
I mean I'm definitely I mean and it was all said and done the season's over and so I mean Detroit will be in the playoffs I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
But Tampa Bay I mean what's his name what is I mean
Baker.
Baker
yeah,
Mayfield.
I think he's found his place and he's in his little zen as far as zen as he can be. He's gonna be that for Tampa Bay. You know.
Well, he
Well,
got the money. The pressure's off for the money. There's nobody there were no expectations when he got there last year.
none.
So it's like
Exactly.
he can just, and that's when Baker's at his best. It's been that way since when he first started out in Lubbock and then he went to Norman. Baker can be Baker when he's loose and free and just playing fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
he can't do it if there's a lot of pressure. He's not good under pressure. He's not good when there's outside noise and when there's riffraff and all this. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
just not.
There
And
will be. You know, it's week 2. There will be pressure. You know what I mean? Like
sure,
Oh, of
he's got
course.
nothing to lose in week 2 going up to the Detroit Lions. I mean, he's got nothing to
yeah.
lose. You can go out there
No,
and
yeah,
play. But, you
true.
know, when it starts getting tough, we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
like I
you
said,
have
it's
the
still
Saints.
early, you know?
Saints will be
true.
coming up soon.
Oh,
But
yeah, yeah, like
I
exactly. Derek Carr. How many times have we seen Derek Carr play so bad he gets benched? You know what I'm saying? Like it happens. You know what I mean? Like
True.
I'm not ready to anoint Derek Carr or Joe Montana. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm-hmm.
guy will have a game where he throws 3 picks and they lose, 42-7. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. You know?
I don't know. I mean, with Derek Carr, I've always thought that because to me, like I've always thought of him as like a kind of Dak Prescott-ish, as far as people complain about. I mean, I'm not saying he's like the greatest quarterback ever or anything like that, but I also believe he had like a bit of a skill set. And if you put the right tools around him, that he could
Mm-hmm.
potentially kill you. You know, and there's quarterbacks that are like that are not classified as superstars. That if you have the right stuff around them, they will kill you. And I just think he's just another quarterback in that little perfect little space right now.
he's got some good weapons around him.
Because at the
And
end of the
then
day and
yeah,
stuff, yeah, I mean, we can all say he's not that great, but still, I mean, they scored every damn drive except one, I believe, right now, and
Yeah.
that's still saying something, you
yeah,
No,
know.
yeah.
I'm
'Cause
not taking
we
anything away
pick
from
and
him. I'm
field
just saying
goals.
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
seen Derek Carr have those games where they complete out where he's been benched. You know what I mean?
Oh
For
yeah,
poor
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
performance. Like
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
it happens
I
all the
mean,
time.
he got benched in LA. I mean, in Vegas,
Well,
Exactly.
he
They got
had a
rid of the guy.
bad
They shipped him
season. He
out of
had a
there.
which
bad
is
You know what
why
I
season
he's
mean?
in
last
New
year.
Orleans right now.
Yeah, he had a bad season last year. He was very up and
Exactly.
down last year. This
Mm-hmm.
year, yeah, it's a little different.
I mean,
Is
that's
this
it. We're 2
Shanahan's
games
first?
in. We'll see what
The
happens.
the new offense, is this a new offensive coordinator this year for
Yes, it
them?
is. Yeah, new
Okay,
up
so yeah,
coordinator.
that could explain that.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
last year he
Oh,
was
Yep.
very up and down.
Yep. From the 49ers tree. The
yep.
49ers tree is no damn joke. So.
But I mean, I know we were talking about this Ravens game. I don't know. I think I might want to join Cal on this one. I originally had us losing this game, and that was of course before the season started. Seeing the Ravens 0-2, Cowboys getting sandblasted last week. Looking at the Raiders stats, because we're very critical of our offensive running game right now. The
Mm-hmm.
Raiders had 26, 27, 28 yards rushing last week on the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
276 yards passing, 30 out of 38 passing with Gardner Minshew. So they did not do it on the ground last week against the Ravens, just to let y'all know that. And if we don't have a running game and we've got an offense and somehow this thing can get on track next week, this may be a game that is in our favor with not having a good running game. In other words,
who
all I'm saying.
who is the Raiders' second receiver?
Brock Bowers is the second receiver, I guess.
He's
I
a
don't know.
tight end.
Rookie,
Okay.
rookie tight end. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so Devontae
Who's
Adams had 9 receptions for 110 yards. So he's out. He's
okay?
their CD Lamb last week.
So if
So
Jake
CD's gonna get
Ferguson's
his
back,
yard.
then that could those
Yes,
could be comparable conversations
yes,
then.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's quite possible this could be the week that a running game may get by. Because like I said, I'm looking at the stats and I can't believe it. I thought nobody could be worse than us right now. And the Raiders, yeah, that's incredible that they won this game last week with that little
Their
rushing yards.
defense is really good too,
You
though.
know, does
Yeah.
I mean, does the potential of Derrick Henry? I mean, does Derrick Henry scare anybody either? Just because
Yes, he
him
does
him
actually.
him him not want him wanting to play here or
Yeah,
supposedly want to play here,
it's scary.
and then not getting a phone call.
Yeah.
To me that's terrifying.
18 carries, 84 yards, a touchdown, 4 yards a carry. Yeah, I'm still fearful of Derrick Henry coming into next week.
Because 84 yards against one team turns into 168 yards when it's us. you know. So
I
I mean,
think if they feed him the ball, I'm worried about him. But the week before that, he had 8 carries. He did for like what,
Right.
yeah,
18 yards. It's like,
Yeah,
you're right. You're
and
right.
then John Harbaugh said we didn't bring him in here to give the ball 30 times a game. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Which is like, it
yeah,
sounds asinine. You know what I mean? Because if I
yeah,
had him, I would give him the ball 30 times a game. You know what I mean? Because he's going to finish with
Absolutely.
yeah.
150 yards and 2 touchdowns. But like,
But if
so
those but if this is one of
and
those games when you're back like Star Trek said, it said your back's against the wall, you're 0-2. Is those one of those games where you just say, "Damn it, we're gonna have him carry the ball 30 times this game." You
I think
know?
when
Yeah.
in doubt, the Ravens will always have the ball in Lamar's hands.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Baltimore. That's why I think they have a hard time getting guys who actually develop and flourish there. Because it's the
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson show. When in doubt,
Oh yeah.
he's going to take off and run the ball, or when in doubt, it's a designed run for him. You know what I mean? Like, why do you
True.
think no receivers ever put up numbers over there? What do you mean? Like, why do you think running backs really don't go there? It's the
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson
Or
show.
when
You
they
know what
go
I'm
there,
saying? Like,
they
he
don't
gets the
produce.
goal line runs, he gets the goal line
And
TDs. It
yeah,
is what it is.
and if they go there, nobody else, that means nobody else really wants them. Like
Yeah,
Odell
I
Beckham,
mean,
like
you
Odell
had
Beckham.
Dez there, you
Yeah,
had
Exactly.
Dez, you had Odell, you had
And what they
Hollywood.
do there?
None of
Absolutely
those guys,
nothing.
they
You know what I'm
did nothing
saying?
there.
nothing,
They
Exactly.
all
Yeah,
failed.
nothing,
exactly.
and it ain't like I mean, you would think these other teams would would want to go after these players too, but the fact of the matter is nobody wants them.
They don't
And
go there. Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
don't want to be, I'm not trying to sign a contract and be run blocking all damn day for Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want
no,
someone's going to throw me
no,
the ball.
I
And
don't
he
think
will
they're run
always take
blocking. They're
off
just
running.
watching them on the highlight. They're just eating popcorn and watching them run.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, like,
So
Derrick Henry, he makes me nervous. If they're going to give him the ball 18 times, yeah, it makes me nervous. But, like, when in doubt, it's going to be, all right, Lamar, ball's in your court, take off running. You know what I mean? So they got to stop
We're gonna
Lamar
see a
Jackson.
lot of
That's it.
we're
Still a
gonna
little
see a
bit
lot of read
terrifying.
options. So hopefully we I think we're gonna see a lot of read option on this upcoming week. It's gonna be a lot of them. We're gonna key in on Derek, and then Lamar's gonna pull it at times. Is what we It's gonna be like that Jalen Hurts game, when that one game where they had Micah just all over the place. I think they're gonna try to run something like that. I don't know how effective it's gonna be. Hopefully Zimmer prepare those guys and
Yeah.
adjust. But I think it's gonna look like that Eagles game when Jalen Hurts and they had Micah just all over the place that one game.
I want to see Overshown all the place because he's the one without any
Yeah,
speed out there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, Overshown better
yes,
be a spy, essentially.
yes.
mhm.
Perfect. You're right,
Yeah.
Kyle. Perfect. I
I
hope
would,
they're
yeah.
seeing what you just said.
Because he's the fastest guy in defense right now,
No,
Yeah, he
he
ironically,
is.
is.
well, the
Hands
ACL
down.
injury.
Hands down.
So,
Yeah, that's a
No,
yeah.
good call, Kyle.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
because Lamar had 45 rushing yards last week. If he could finish the
Yeah,
game with 45 rushing yards, I can live with that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, because they
but
Sure.
lost.
I can't have him
yeah,
finish with 120, you know?
Yeah, yeah, 45 yards and they lost. I'll take that.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just shut him down. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. So, I mean, going around the table and stuff. The only person who's changed their view. Starstruck.
Yes.
You believe that? Okay, so you believe now that the Cowboys are going to win as well. So I
Yeah,
guess we're
I'm changing. Yep.
Lisa Lee. You're going to still stick where you're at.
Fairly certain, yes.
Okay, I'm standing over. I'll grab my drink and I'll stand next to you then because
Uh-oh.
I no I'm just don't I just don't
Below 500. Mm.
I just don't see it. And it's like again we're not haters. We love this team, but God, I mean,
They're making me question my loyalty. They are. I'm not
Mm.
gonna lie.
well, I'm not
Yeah.
questioning my loyalty. I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm just realizing that the person I'm in a relationship is a damn idiot and stuff. And
That's what I mean.
Well,
Questioning your
well,
loyalty.
excuse me, Troy. You need to come off the wall and let me stand by Lisa then, because then I'm starting to question. I'll take your place on the wall. I'll stand by Lisa with this one. I'm like, these. I mean, sitting in that stadium was very humiliating this past Sunday to hear those guys all game who that. Think they going. I mean, people just talking. I mean, it just and watching the team just not produce and people just kind of laughing like, "Oh, look at this guy! Look at them! They can't do anything." And the Saints just scoring at will. It was ridiculous. It was like, really? I just put this money into these guys. I don't believe this.
well,
I'm
what
thankful I love my son and it was just time well spent. But at the end of
ballpark?
the day,
Ballpark. What was the damage? Ballpark. Just like a slim at. Just a
oh yeah,
ballpark.
it was
What?
like it was like 300.
Damn.
Jesus.
Yeah, yes,
Mm.
yes. It was every bit. Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. Easy. Yes,
Mm.
yes. And we were just below nosebleed. We weren't even in nosebleed.
And that 300 wasn't even half of one of my tickets in the playoff game.
Yeah. And so that was to combine. Yep. It was like, oh my goodness. And I really tried to persuade my son heavily, Liz, you want to do standing room only? He's like, no, Dad, I really don't. I'm like, okay.
But Star Trek, I got to give you a lot of credit. Like, that's awesome. Like, you're a
Yeah.
really good dad for
Absolutely.
listening to what he wanted to do, making it happen, and then
Yeah.
sitting through that. Like, I got to give you a lot of credit. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's something that he will remember, even
Yeah.
though, I mean,
Yeah.
the
He said
Cowboys
he was
put a,
trying to encourage me after the game. He's like, Dad, I know, Dad. I know.
aw.
And he kept embracing me like, I know, Dad. I said, you know, right? And he's like, I know, Dad. I know. But thank you.
But
Yes,
that's
sir.
an awesome experience that y'all
Yeah.
can always remember. And that's really cool. So I want to give you your flowers.
Oh Lord.
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
yeah.
so
Can I
so
ask a question that only you guys would know? Is standing room only like a cool way to watch the game there, or not really?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't
Okay,
do
all
Um,
right.
that.
it
That
depends on how good your knees are.
Yeah,
If you
Exactly.
got
exactly,
good
right?
knees,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
got good knees and
And
you're
your
about
back, because
6
In the
it's
back,
foot
you're
or
just on
taller,
yeah.
concrete.
yeah.
Like you're standing on
yeah,
concrete. So
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm not.
If you
But can
There's
you
got
even
good
see the
knees,
field? Because
yeah,
like if there's
no,
like
that's
you
why they run in, because
yeah,
you're going
yeah,
to be,
yeah.
if you don't run in and you're not at the first, you're going to be about 30 deep.
And
Yep.
you're
yeah,
There.
watching, you're literally watching a
yeah.
TV, the jumbo
100%.
screen,
Yeah.
right?
Eh,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
can get some good views depending on where you go and how you got
Yeah.
to be
It's
one or two
terrible, Kyle.
things.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. There.
To
There
me,
is
it's
no.
better if you don't go by yourself. Go with
Yeah,
a
yeah.
group of people. That way,
Yeah. I
somebody can
got
get
you.
in there. Maneuver in, find you a
Gotcha.
spot in case you got to go to the
Gotcha. I
bathroom.
hear
If
you.
you're going with one or two people and you're going with a kid, no, because
Yeah,
the kid's not gonna hold a spot for you when you go to the bathroom or whatever.
There.
You go by
There.
yourself, nobody's gonna be there.
yeah,
But one
yeah.
thing
There.
is, if you got good knees and you're at least 6 foot or above, you
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
good chance of that standing
Mm-mm.
room
Gotcha.
of making
Don't
it.
fall.
There.
Don't fall for the okie doke, Kyle.
Yeah. I can tell you, Kyle, I'm 6'3", and there's no damn circumstance I'm doing standing room only for
I
any
got you.
damn
No, I was
thing.
just curious. Yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah,
you want to
You
yeah.
know,
see a Cowboys game,
and
it's a
there.
good way to get you in there. Six
No,
to
it's
a
Yeah, that's
not.
what I'm saying. You can
60
No,
always
it's
get in
not.
there, right?
$62
Yeah.
No, it's not,
for
Kyle. I
it
mean,
was
no, it's not, Ron.
$62 for the Saints game. I've seen
Oh,
it as
wow.
low as about 39 to go see anybody else. I've seen
Well, that's pretty
$39
cool.
get you in there.
I
Man, there.
mean,
You know.
if
I mean,
you've
for
never
40
been,
bucks to be to
like,
hang out
if
at the stadium, that's kind of cool. I
Yeah,
mean, for
yeah,
40 bucks,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
but then you're going to pay for parking. Most
And all
Yeah.
people,
the
I mean, you
food,
have to.
yeah. No, I got you.
yeah,
Yeah,
Or,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
or they're gonna spend the night before out there and stuff because they take pictures of themselves and stuff. You see them with the stadium in the background, like we're here. I'm like, you guys are dumb. But
there's
anyway,
only one game in the world that I would take the standing room only tickets, and that's if we were playing in the Super Bowl in our own stadium. In that
Mm,
case, the standing room only tickets are going to be about $700
I'm
a
about to
piece.
say it definitely
yeah,
won't be
yeah.
So
$62 that
that would
time.
be the only ticket,
yep.
the only game I would
And
pay
half
to stand
the
up in.
and half the fans you see
Gotcha.
like at and half the fans you see on like your Instagram account, they're always at the Cowboy game. Kyle, that's the game you will
Mhm.
not see them at because The only reason they go is because of the standing room. They try and
Yeah,
convince you
yeah.
otherwise, but
Yeah,
it's all standing
Yeah,
room.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I was just curious how that worked. Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
it's just not worth
yeah.
it. You
If
know,
Like I
it's
you're,
said,
I mean,
if
like
you
if
Not for
you want to
everybody. Yeah.
yeah,
just get in the building and then
yeah,
just
Yeah.
go like hang out
say
at,
you've
like
been
there's some
there,
high top
yeah,
tables you can go sit at and
Exactly.
eat or
Yeah.
whatever. Like if you're
yeah,
just
Exactly.
looking for
Yeah.
that,
yeah,
then
Yeah.
yeah, the price of admission would be fine. But if
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
truly wanting to watch the game,
Yeah.
like
Sit there
yeah,
and watch the game on the field and pay attention.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. All right.
yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
you're
Yeah.
better off going to the Arlington Best Buy and watch the game there.
That's
Wait,
Or
no,
fine.
no,
to
wait
reserve a
it.
table at Texas Live would be as you know.
So you got to
Well,
play it smart
Oh.
Kyle,
because we
The Best
walked
Buy app's
about.
just cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, so
Exactly.
you got to try to play it smart too. We walked about 25 minutes to get to the stadium. My wife
Jesus.
actually dropped us off. We
Okay.
walked about 25 minutes. We didn't pay for any parking. We
Yeah.
ate
Yeah.
before we went to the game, so
There you go. Yeah.
we didn't buy anything. I didn't
Yeah.
drink anything while I was in that stadium until
Yeah.
we left. So I mean,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
kind of pull it off. I said, if you just want to get in there, there's ways to do it. If we know you coming to town, if I got to drive you and drop you off myself, Kyle,
No
I'll be
doubt.
able to help you save money on parking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And the funny thing is, by the time the game's over and stuff, he'll still be trying to fight his way out of traffic, getting out of the damn stadium.
I know. Hey,
Wow.
I do it for Kyle though. If he needed a ride, he needed to be picked up, I do it for him.
Yeah, I've been there in a while. I'm trying to go next year
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
on
yeah,
Thanksgiving. I want to
yeah.
go
Yeah.
I
next
will be
year.
like, I will meet you at the Best Buy, Kyle. I can get us I can get us front row seats, and then if they
Yeah,
look at us, and they look at us when they're drinking, just don't make eye contact with them. Just do what you got to do.
maybe try
Anyways,
out like one of those vibrating chairs, recliner.
man, you're gonna love this air fryer, Kyle. It's great.
I'll bring it back a tater tots. You bring a cooler and an air fryer.
Yeah, I'll bring some pecan smoked wings from Walmart. Those damn things are delicious. But anyways, but
Oh my
anyways,
god.
it's always fun talking Dallas Cowboy football with my
Oh yeah.
people. If you guys enjoy the program, you happen to have questions about the show, don't hesitate to ask a question in the comment field below, and we will love to address your question on our show. Do you have anything else final for the people this week, Lisa Lee?
No. No, it's just, I mean, I want to be like Kyle and say, it's just week 2. Like, I need to settle down. I mean, I didn't really get, like I said, the needle really hasn't moved for me at all. I was more pissed off yesterday about the people blaming Dak than I was about the actual outcome. But, it is what it is at this point. Like, I'm right on target for my prediction for the season. So, I mean, we'll
True.
see. Like, it could go, like I said, we could look like a Super Bowl contender again next week. So it just all depends. So yeah, I don't know.
It's possible. What about you, Kyle? You got anything else?
No, not particularly. I just, like I said, this is such a week by week league. You know what I mean? Like any given Sunday, we've all said it, we've all heard it. You know what I mean? Any given Sunday, I just feel like they got to make some adjustments on defense and hopefully come out, buckle down and get to work. So.
Well, I hope they send some of these undersized players to the damn buffet and stuff all week and just like stuff them up real good. If that's an adjustment that needs to be made. F it, I'll even contribute. But anyways, what about you, Starstruck?
All I can start off with is saying, why not us? Why never us? I mean, can we do it? I mean, you've got, you know, the Raiders that beat, the Ravens. You got the Vikings beat the 49ers. Why can't it be us this week? I'm siding with Kyle this week, and I think defend the home turf. Come on, not
Mm.
2 weeks in a row.
I
Get the job done. Get the
Oh
job
wait,
done.
we play here this week?
Yes,
yes.
we're at home.
Oh
We're at home.
Lord.
We're at home. We're at home. Come on,
Huh.
not 2 weeks in a row. Stand your
Well,
ground, guys.
this is the
I
reason
see.
why
Yeah,
I'm staying where I'm at, because I feel like this home field advantage thing was just a whole overblown nonsense to begin with. Anyways, I've always felt that way. And that's just, I don't believe in home field advantage. Not when it comes to this damn team, because half the people there is not even watching the damn game anyways. They're too busy on their damn phones taking pictures of each other and shit. So
yeah.
they're not, it's not a home field advantage. It's just,
It's not.
I
The
mean, it's just.
noise was not deafening early in the game on crucial downs. It was not.
Oh, I will. I do have to send a message and stuff to my Philadelphia friend. Your team is currently down by the Atlanta Falcons
Yeah,
here,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
what I
and
said. Why not us? Everybody else looks good against these teams that we kind of makes us a little nervous to play, and these other teams go out there and just play loose.
and I'm just wondering when Jalen Hurts is going to start getting Dak Prescott flack, because he's clearly worse than Prescott, in my opinion.
He got
They
But
it
have
a
they have to
lot at
lose.
the end of
They got to
last year.
lose. They got to
Well, that
lose.
whole
You got to
team did.
lose.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
started catching it when they went on the losing streak. As long as they're winning,
Yeah.
you're not gonna hear it, Troy.
yeah, that's true too.
But you
But
even heard there was some, and maybe Kyle can attest to this. Like I think there were a lot of doubts going into this year.
Yeah, he threw 2 picks last week. A lot of people
Yeah.
did kind of people were kind of singing on him last week, but they won, so it died out as the week turned the corner.
hmm,
Yeah.
It's because of his knee last year. Because if he can't run, he's not good. Let's be real here. He had a knee injury all last year, and when it caught up to him, and they lost 7 out of 8 games, that's when it turned. And like I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching the game now, and Aikman and Joe Buckman, oh, the knee's healthy because that's all he do. He's running around. That's all he's doing is running around. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's all he can do is run around. And take that away, he's not a good quarterback.
yeah, he's not
Right.
going to stay
So
healthy. He's going to tweak something some
exactly,
point in the season,
he's
anyways.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not,
Yeah, fourth quarter, he's got
it's not.
134 yards passing in the fourth quarter.
Exactly. That's my point. It's unless he can run and pose that threat. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I've never thought that much of him. But anyways, with that being said, we'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in this evening, and we'll be back again and with some final words from Mr. Starstruck.
How about them Cowboys?
You're damn right. Well, that would